Software engineers are wrong about AI taking our gerbs. Hello, I'm Chris Athanas. I'm a KMP developer. Let me make sure my mic is set up right. For that, there we go. I did not do anything. My name is Chris Athanas. I'm a KMP developer. Tech support said they're coming out, and they're going to close that up for us, guys, and we will close that chapter. I'm going to be responding to Force Knight. Software engineers are wrong about AI taking our jobs. I haven't watched this yet, so I'm just going to do a raw response. All I saw was the title. I was like, dig the title. I've been following Force for a little while. Go give him a like and subscribe. Off and on. Yeah, he's like a JavaScript guy, but let's see what he has to say. And those glasses, he looks like you're about to have a compound in Waco. Have a visit from the ATF and Janet Reno. Okay, let's keep going.
Why are y'all making me make this video? I didn't want to make this video today. I have other things to do, but this shouldn't take long, so I should still be able to get that stuff done. But Why is it that software engineers can't wrap their head around how AI is implemented in the software engineering workflow? It's like it's either all or nothing. It's either AI, you have nothing to worry about, or AI is going to replace all programmers one-to-one and everybody will be out of a job. Why is it not something in between? And what's funny is I made a video yesterday.
Because nuanced takes are not popular on the internet, and you have to drill down into these things and get past the sales pitching. I hope he brings it up. The sales pitching is a big part of software engineering culture, and it has been since about 2016 or so. 2014, I don't know, when the Agile stuff really took off and they had the Agile license and all that stuff. It's been one hyped up wave of trying to solve the problems that engineers are having, software engineers are having in this particular case, and engineers in general, but like software engineers in particular, about the level of complexity that we're expected to be able to handle given the tools that we're expected to deal with. The tool set doesn't really match the complexity level. And that's why AI, everybody's a hype about it, because we think that's a way out. They call it AI, so they're having the sci-fi stuff that we've had pumped into our brains since the 50s, 40s, about how the computers are going to take our thing. And then we have an Eliza effect. It's just the thing going on where we have a chatbot that seems like it's a sentient being. It's like, it's not sentient, man. It's just guessing the next word. It's pretty interesting in what we can do given the training set of data, yes. But let's not get it twisted. And also the whole thing, AGI, blah, blah, AGI. They're not going to let you have AGI. Just think about it for a second. If you get AGI, that means you can have an equivalency of a human, which means you can have a superhuman, which means that all you have to do is throw compute at something, and then you can take people's engineers' jobs, and you can have all companies are now Amazon. So basically Amazon is going to go, we're going to take our compute resources and we're going to start taking over industry after industry after industry after industry. And we're not going to let that engineering, we're not going to sell that. We're going to use it to totally take over the planet. So let's keep going.
About vibe coding and drawing parallels between vibe coding and AI and Peter Parker using the suit that Iron Man gave him. I thought it was an awesome analogy and all.
So, okay. So we're also dealing with lots of people who are not engineers who want to do engineering thing because they've seen the movies and they've seen TV and all the sci-fi and all that stuff. And they want to go, I want to do that. And the money, they see the money and they're being told by the marketing because they're like believing the marketing. And I'm like, well, they're lying to us again. No one ever says that. I don't know why. Because it's just constant lies from all these people about everything, and nobody calls them out on it. And they keep continuing to lie, and everyone just keeps buying their stuff. It's like crazy. Keep going.
Awesome video, highly recommend it. But people think I'm on the side of like anti-AI. And
no. See, that's the other thing too. You're for it or against it. This is that black and white thinking, the non-nuanced thinking that the general people, non-engineering public. That's how they do it. That's what they've been told. You do this or that. You either take the thingy or you get the pink slip. A or B. One or the other. And that's how we're trained. So there's a lot of people who have been trained to de-nuance every conversation into two things. And as engineers who have been given the gifts or whatever it takes to elevate your mind above the hoi polloi noise of the common crowd, to be entrusted with the ability and the skill set and the willingness to engage in a problem space of providing solutions that are nuanced for your customers who are not nuanced. They didn't want their thing, and if you don't give it to them, they go on someplace else.
And I am in regards to like if AI fell off a cliff, I think the future will be better, but I'm not in terms of
they'd invent something else like it. I mean, it's a pretty useful tool.
Don't ever use AI.
The current, not the AI thing they're talking about, the AGI thing, not the SI thing. The thing they're calling AI right now, which is the LLMs. Listen, I'm going to call that machine intelligence, or it's not even intelligence. I hate that word. It's just LLMs. Let's just call it LLMs.
As a software engineer, and I said this in this video, in that video, but there's a lot of comments I guess just didn't watch the video, or I don't know. I don't know how people come to their conclusions when I have the full context in the video, but then they say the exact thing that agrees.
Sir, Forrest, they don't watch your video all the way through, and you're reading the comments. Seriously, like, take in consideration into okay, because is the guy you're reading the comments from? Does he have a channel? Does he have a channel? Is he just anonymous? Somebody drive by scanning, flipping through channel after channel after channel, like listen to the first 5 minutes, first 2 seconds, first 30 seconds, which let's face it, that's most people coming to your channel. That's all they're gonna read. Are you gonna go background reference some of these people to see if they're even worth thinking and talking about? He never says that. None of these guys say that. Like, I read the comments. Dude, did you just get on the internet yesterday? I've been dealing with the comment section since the 80s when I was running a bulletin board system on my damn Commodore 64 that I wrote up. Yeah, people, when they're anonymous, they say dickish stuff, and it's not even, they didn't even thought it through. They're not like a fully formed thing. It's just a side-by comment that they're feeling at that particular moment. And you have to, like, judge the source. God dang, guys. Judge the source of these people. Look, if the Anthropic CEO comes out and says that 95% or 99% of code is going to be written by AI by the end of LLMs by the end of 2025, you have to look at the source, not just he's the CEO. He must have inside information. It's like, dude, he's the CEO of a company that does stock buybacks and pumps, and it was created as ZERP by people that say, well, no, we're doing it open. We're going to be open. Then they close it up immediately when they have a market that's addressable. It's so bad. All this stuff is like, and no one remembers any of that. No, everything's completely legit. Everything they say has been tested. It's all been market verified. They would never lie. For making untold millions of dollars just by lying. You don't think they're gonna lie, and they keep doing it, and nobody says anything, and nobody catches them, and nobody cuts them off, or does like, hey man, you can't do the lying stuff anymore. Nobody stops them. Just no, that's a worthy endeavor. You might want to get the stock. It's on the stock exchange. It's been verified. The IPO, they're verified.
Agrees with me, but in a way that's trying to disagree with me. I don't understand. But let me explain with more detail and more context. What I think.
Nobody's watching this far for us, except me and you. Let's keep going.
How I think AI affects software engineering jobs is how it's doing it today, but on a larger scale. So there was actually something that was tweeted out by the Anthropic CEO right here.
This jackass.
In the next 3 to 6 months, AI is writing 90% of the code. And
do you want to put money on that, sir? Can we put some money on that? That is a useful code. It's not just bloat. It's just actual code that's fit for purpose and does its task well and doesn't have to be debugged or removed, and it's not just adding stuff in there. Yeah, well, I'm the Anthropic CEO, and all the pro software is going to be written by us. So I might as well just get an investment on that. Might as well get our stock to buy our stock. Oh, so how is that possible, sir? How are you going to get there? Well, we're just going to go and leverage up some more server farms. It's like, dude, no, you're not. Let's keep going. Well, I mean, it could be a billion lines of code. It's just garbage. Just lawns of just junk. Yeah, I can do that now. What?
In 12 months, nearly all code may be generated by AI. And a lot of people are thinking, oh,
it may be. Put money on it? Okay, what is the term? Is it actual useful code? This guy. Yeah, he doesn't look like a scam artist. Look at this suit. He's got the tousled hair. Oh my god, this is crazy. This is so much insane. It's like, dude, get the fuck out of here.
Here's another AI is going to take your job thing. And have you seen what AI can do today? Like, it's not the best coder, it can do this and do that, but that's if I had to assume, and that's what I did in my tweet, which I actually
let's see what he says.
When I was like looking at this, when I meant to retweet this, that's besides the point. But I said, one, he sells AI, so he has to talk like.
There we go. Yes, thank you, Forrest. I knew I liked this guy.
this about it, because if he's going to say like, oh no, AI is not going to get any better, that's not very good for shareholders or anything like that. It's probably not even what he believes. Not that he doesn't believe what he's currently saying, but not believing that AI will not make more progress. I think we all can acknowledge that AI is going to continue making more and more progress, considering the fact, and I feel like people don't acknowledge this for some reason, the 7 or 8 richest companies in the entire world are throwing billions of dollars at AI and AI research, and not to mention all of the derivatives of these AIs that are throwing hundreds of millions and more billions of dollars in it.
That doesn't mean it's good. Doesn't mean it's fit for purpose. It doesn't mean they're going to get there. The money has to go somewhere. The free money printer bucks have to go somewhere. And if there's no growth anywhere else, and everybody's doing stock buybacks, the only thing it's looking like it has any growth anywhere, yeah, of course, doesn't mean it's fit for purpose. Come on.
Collectively. Like, why do we think that
there was the tulip boom too? But come on, this doesn't mean it's real. That doesn't mean anything.
AI is not going to get any better than it is right now. Of course it is. People just think it's going to be asymptotic. I've played with that theory, and it's can't tell the future. It's a potential, but I just still feel the same as I did 2 years ago.
Asymptotic which way? This way or this way? I guess it's looking right at the top of the S curve, guys. I know. They don't want to talk. They would never say anthropic would never go, oh, it looks like we're at the top of the S curve. They would never say that. Why? I gotta pump that stock, baby.
Years ago, when I made the video about coding won't exist in 5 years, you might be right. I'll talk about that in a second after I finish reading this. But what I was going to say is, 2, about the Anthropic CEO making that claim about, 90% of code will be written by AI in 3 to 6 months. And if I were to assume what he meant, it is that programmers using AI will write that code, not AI alone. It's not going to be a one-to-one replacement.
Right, but he didn't say, right? That was left up to your imagination, your non-nuanced imagination. So if the programmer not write it, then the AI write it. All the code get written by AI. Do you see how they play these little word games? He's like shifting in his seat, going, and he's saying it. I wonder why, you shifty little bastard.
In 3 to 6 months or in 12 months where it's 100%.
I mean, I respect the game. I respect the grift. But I also get to call it out and say it's bullshit. And I'm going to be laughing when these companies get taken over or they have to bring people back and it's like triple salary. People are like, no, you're not getting rid of me in 2 years, asshole. No, you're going to pay me up front.
It's going to be like right now, how often are programmers utilizing anything from autocomplete to agents prompting to help them write code? Probably a good amount of the code is written that way already.
Where it's suitable, where it makes sense, the bottom layer stuff, yeah, but not the whole damn app. Are you crazy? You're goofy. That's goofy shit.
Particularly with autocomplete, because actually, what I said right here is the 2024 Stack Overflow Developer Survey. Out of all professional developers that took this, well, responses 46,000 right here, as you can see, say no, I don't use AI and I don't plan to use AI.
Well, they will have to come around. The same people with these assembly language programmers. Hey, are you going to use a compiler when it comes out? Hell no, I've still got my chip. I got my favorite chip, and I know what chip inside and out. I know all the gates and all the special opcodes and what they're for and why. That's those guys. They'll never go to C. No, they eventually did. Well, there's still like 0.1%. Our assembly language programmers die hard. They will never give it up. They will never give up their Z80 chip, even if it's out of production.
In my work. Whereas the remaining 76.6% right here says, yes, I use AI, or no, but I do plan to soon. So I think, 3 to 6 months, I don't know about timelines, but I don't think it is a wild thing to say.
I mean, it's just like, are you going to look it up in a book, or are you going to make it up out of your head? I mean, if it's written in a book somewhere, yeah, I'm probably going to look it up. Like, what are you talking like? Yes. That's what Stack Overflow is like. That was the whole idea of the Stack Overflow. Somebody's already gone down this path and left some notes for us. So yeah, instead of going down the path myself, I might go to Stack Overflow until it becomes a pile of bar garbage. And just by asking the question, I get verbally and emotionally abused. So I have to get therapy. So you're like, the cost of going to Stack Overflow is like 6 months of therapy.
That 90% of all code written will be written by AI. It's just that people aren't understanding what I think he meant or what actually is true. I don't even care what he means at this.
Yeah, these CEO, CFO, these companies, they're really good liars because they like to skirt the edge. So the lying effectively is skirting the edge of like, what did you actually mean by that? And he's like, well, I meant blah, 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 blah. But on the outside, it seems like, well, it seems like you're saying that these AIs are going to take over everything. Oh, I never said that. I just said they'll be generating the code. Yeah, see, they play these little, and this is English. English is a magical language that was intended for sending out spells to get people wrapped up into theatrical imaginations that sometimes actually are created. The reality gets created from lying to people and inventing things. I know this is hard to take. English, it's very precise. Like, no, it's a very loose language. It's meant to be interpreted and usually have double meanings. Lots of things are double meanings. Things have triple meanings. And then in the context and who you're talking to and who wants to hear the message, who's the message for, who's the message intended for, who is the message designed for to hear, to pay attention, to invest, to buy in, to be convinced, to be convinced.
This point, what's true is not that AI is going to replace one-to-one in the next 3 to 6 months or 12 months. It's that developers are using AI. Because here's the thing, particularly with autocomplete on larger code bases, because trying to prompt in a larger code base is a little bit more difficult right now. Maybe it'll get better. Windsurf is probably the best that I've used, where you can prompt in a larger code base and it can actually get context, and it's more right than the alternatives that I've tried, but I haven't tried everything. But here's the thing, if you know how to code and understand what to write, if you start writing that code and you get an autocomplete suggestion, you can tell, right, like within a split second, whether or not that's the code you intended.
Not easiest. Wait, if you understand what the machine does, if you understand the language, the architecture, the framework, if you already understand how all that stuff's put together, then yeah, the LLM suggestions are often quite useful. But you still have to know how all that stuff works, right? And that's the thing that he's not seeing is like people are trying to skip that, dude. People are trying to skip that. The managers are trying to get rid of the people. Managers want to write the UML diagram. They want to booch it up. Boochy. They want to get it all booched up. They want to write the UML diagrams that perfectly encapsulate their particular business use case for their particular customer with all the things. And then they want that to be easily updatable and changeable just from the diagram. That's their hope and dream. And ooh, please. But they can't get it because there's these freaking engineers in the way in these platforms that aren't designed for what they're trying to do. That is even possible. Eventually, the quickest way to describe it is code. The most efficient way to write it is in this human language, line by line baloney. Because the way in which the machine works, this is how it's put together. And you have to understand all that stuff. And people don't want to, man. That takes a long time. That takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of interest. It takes a lot of lack of dopamine because the whole way you're like confused. How is this applicable? And then it turns out to be, oh, really, it's how you want to arrange your problem in the problem space. And there's different techniques and stuff, but none of them are 100%. They're going to prove the thing to be the way to do it. You're going to have to still get in there as a person and human, like talk to people and what they're trying to do, what they want, how they want it. The context, the nuance, the curation, like leaving shit out. Jira, by the way, they don't leave anything out. Just put my buttons in there, put my switches, put my checkboxes in there. Oh my God, it's a burn down chart. You can play poker with this to-do list. Let's keep going.
To write. And then if it is, you just hit tab and move on. If it's not, you keep typing and maybe the autocomplete suggestion will get it right next time. That's not you writing the code. That would go into the 90% of all code written is written by AI because...
Right, but the curation. This is the part I've never heard of people talk about this. It's the curation that it's the human thing we're bringing in. That the machine will never do. It's like, do you mean this? Do you mean this? It's just a random number generator. It doesn't give a fuck. It doesn't even, not even trying. It's just like, here's the first one. Here's the second one. Here's the third one. Here's a random number. Here's a random number. And then all of a sudden, oh, okay, that kind of fits in, sort of. I can see how I can put that in. It's the human curation. You may not be creating the art, but you're saying what art gets to put in there in the studio, and what ones are get the fuck out of here with that shit. And that's where humans bring it. So what kind of studio are you gonna bring? What kind of art? Who's it for? I've been getting into photography lately. The cameras are almost all do the exact same thing, but it's like, what are you doing with it? And there's different features of the things you want to do with it. And it's like, who, what purpose? Why? Is it wedding photography was gonna be the same damn thing, but it's gonna be their thing for that couple, for their family. That kind of stuff. It's like, does it fit for purpose? Or are you just goofing off? Just abstract photography. I mean, it's all the same camera, same hardware, same everything, but like how you use it and who is it for? What problem human? Are you doing it for money? Are you doing it for yourself? Just doing it for your own good? Are you trying to do it for money for somebody else? Things going to be in certain categories. There people want stuff done in a certain way. For those people, it's going to be different from the other people that want it a different way. So how's the machine going to decide that? Oh, wow. The managers will decide that. Oh, really? Okay.
You didn't write the code. You wrote like the first few words, or maybe the first line, and then it gave you a code snippet that's 3 lines, 5 lines, 10 lines long. Well, guess what? If you write 1 line, and the entire code block right there is 10 lines, you wrote 10%, it wrote 90%. The AI.
I mean, it doesn't even matter who wrote the lines. It's the intention behind it. See, those focusing on the lines is like kind of missing the point. It's like little solutions to a problem you're working on for your customer, for your does this fit the need that I've been trying to, my solution space that I'm trying to sell to this guy, does it fit the need better than something else? The machine ain't never gonna know that. It doesn't give a fuck about the lines. It just said, how is this little chunk of thing get me closer to the thing I'm trying to build for my fit for purpose? Whatever the line count is, I don't give a shit. That's not the point. Who cares about lines? It's like completely missing the point with this line conversation. Let's keep going.
Yeah, and I did say this. I did say that's how I see the claim of AI writing the code, not AI doing everything itself from Jira ticket to PR, but having programmer use AI as their coding.
Right. So I agree with you. But the guy was trying to make it seem like to the managers that it was going to do this shit. AI doing everything else from the Jira ticket to the PR, and no programmer in between. Just the manager hands the PR, hands the ticket, the Jira ticket, fucking Jira, hands the Jira ticket to the AI, and the AI hands back the application with those changes made and updated code. No programmer involved. That's what they want. And they don't realize all this other stuff that's going on, all this tacit knowledge. Well, the code is just the tippy top of this thing. The show in the gallery, the art show in the gallery. Do you know how many pieces of art wanted to be in that gallery? Millions. Millions of pieces of art wanted to be in that gallery, but only 12 pieces get put in. 16 pieces. Or maybe it's 100 pieces. Or maybe no pieces at all. It's all just empty except for one thing in the middle. What are you trying? Who's coming in? Who's going to buy that one thing in the middle? Who's going to buy that urinal on the wall? See, this is where the AI is like, you're never going to get that. And people managers are like, well, we can go ahead and do that. It's like, so as soon as you have an AI that could possibly take over and get rid of all the engineers, the people running that business are going to be out of business, because the engineers are just going to come in and go, oh, I'm going to use the engineer. I'm going to use the AI now to do the thing that I was doing. And I'm going to take your business away from you, managers. And now I know how the machine, I could do the tuning up way faster, way better, way more efficiently than you could ever describe to the AI how you want it done. And I'll just take your business, manager. I'll just take your business away from you. That's happened. This is how it happens. This is how it always occurs. The managers think, oh yeah, I got this. And then they're out of business. Like, no, man. All businesses are these really tacit knowledge techniques about the problem space and the customers and what they freaking want. And it changes all the time. And it's very human. And you better have a way of dealing with that. Otherwise, somebody else will. And you'll be out of business. Oh my God.
In the 3 to 6 months or 12 months timeline, the Jira ticket to PR, I laid out completely in the coding won't exist in 5 years, you might be right video from literally 2 years ago, sometime in 2023, if I'm not mistaken, where that's kind of what I said. I drew comparisons to how automation was affecting other industries, or had affected other industries in the past. And I think understanding history is going to be your best opportunity for being able to predict the future. And if you see how automation has affected other industries, like right now I'm looking out at a farm, cropland.
Yeah, microservices didn't solve the scaling problem. It just should switch the flavor of it.
And how many people would it take to farm that 100 years ago? 150 years ago, before the advent of tractors. Yeah, the first gasoline-powered tractor was invented in 1892. Right now it's 2025. So before then, you would use oxen and things of that nature to plant. Yes. How many acres could you get done in a day? 1 acre? 5 acres? 10
Not
acres?
much.
Well, guess what? They can get done 100 acres in less than an hour. I meant to say 100 acres in less than a day, not less than an hour, just to be very conservative in the estimate. But I mean, there are tractors that can cover, depending on what it's doing. If it's tilling, it's going to take longer. If it's planting, okay, that's quicker than that. If it's spraying, say what you want about spraying.
It's just way less. Let's just be real honest. We're getting it down to the minimum required human interaction with the farming equipment to do the extraction. Yes, that is exactly what's happened.
Whatever. It can cover 20, 30, 50 acres per hour, if not more for some of these machines, but that realm is the average. Imagine that with some oxen. It ain't gonna happen. And to segue into what I was saying before, these tractors are getting all of this done with just one guy sitting in a tractor, which, by the way, that tractor already has autopilot. The guy's just sitting in there to make sure that it doesn't run over anything. But back to vibe coding, because that's what the Spider-Man analogy video was all about.
And that will not be a value-added place. That will be commoditized quickly, and anything like that, even if it's possible, will be commoditized quickly. And then there'll be a bunch of people who the commodity is not going to work for them. And that's where people, like, if you've watched this video and you're watching me at all, this is where we come in.
Couple comments on that video disagreeing with me, which is perfectly fine. I didn't think this was going to be what it really shows.
Dude, I'm 25 years in software engineering. The vibe coding is simply amazing. You're missing the point. Instead of shooting down a paradigm which you should be exploring, it. Stop assuming vibes coding is done by juniors. Don't you think that's so pretentious? You're thinking without the E. You're thinking linearly. You need to think scaling. Vibe coding is agentic coding level 1. All right, buddy. Okay. You prove it. Take down Amazon. Show us the vibe coding. Taking down a AAA game, same features, same everything, all the packaging, the networking, the press releases, the whole thing. Do it. Show us. Levers of power.
It's not people disagreeing with me, but how they're explaining why they're disagreeing with me shows the lack of understanding of how AI fits into the workplace, or will, over the next 5 to 10 years. And just to be clear, I do think in the next 5 to 10 years that AI will be able to iterate through a Jira ticket all the way, create its own branch, to write the tests, make sure it works with a larger code base, and then submit a PR for that.
I don't think so.
But here's the thing, is that who is writing that Jira ticket or prompting it? If you don't think it's going to be little 3-hour tasks and it can be like an entire sprint that can be done in one detailed prompt, somebody's still writing that prompt in...
Right. They're usually writing in English, but the thing is, to get the detail enough, you're going to have to drop down to code. Wait a second. I was told there would be no code. Not on the current stuff. Not the way it's set up right now. Ain't way around it. You're going to have to get in there. Someone's going to have to get in there. You might get far enough away with your vibe coding to get something. But as soon as somebody else says, some customer goes, well, could you do it like this? But you could do that. Could you put it over here? You're going to be like, I guess I got to reprompt it.
10 years from now. Maybe it's simplified into just a single sentence because AI is just that good, but there's still going to be somebody between the client and the software. Just like today, you can build a website.
Exactly. There's got to be a human in there that's going to curate what gets into the goddamn studio.
And like a single prompt, but yet companies still pay thousands of dollars for custom websites that just display pictures and text. Why? Because they don't have time to do this. I'm literally repeating everything that I said in that video, so I apologize for that if you've watched that video, but
it's fair enough. You got to keep repeating it. It's like, this is like, if you're going to be teaching people stuff and like talk to people how to make stuff happen, I mean, yeah, you got to repeat. It's okay.
It's just a little frustrating, the misunderstandings. But here's one of the...
No, it's normal. It's lovely. Misunderstanding means people are trying to work through it. Lack of misunderstanding means, I don't know, it means I think I'm okay with it. There's nothing wrong with it. I like it, kind of. It gives us something to talk about.
Comments here on the this video. Vibe coders need to learn from Spider-Man, which I may change the title, but you never know. Dude, I'm 25 years into software engineering, and vibe coding is simply amazing. You're missing the point. You can't say I'm missing the point when you missed the point of my entire video.
Without an apostrophe E.
Instead of shooting down a paradigm, you should be exploring it. I didn't shoot it down. Stop assuming all vibe coding is done by juniors. Don't you think that's a little pretentious? I did not assume all vibe coding is done by juniors. I said this in the video. You're thinking linearly. You need to think scaling. Vibe coding is agentic coding level.
Think scaling, dude. If scaling is the most important thing when you're vibe coding.
One. And I literally...
Not trying to get a product that meets someone's demands, some users' demands, profitably, and efficiently, and better, faster, more fun than somebody else. All the things that could make it something better. No, not that. It's the scaling and the vibing. The vibing is what does it.
I said this in the video. I'm just repeating myself in a comment. I do love responding to the comments in the first 24 hours.
These guys are crazy.
First 24 hours. It's an enjoyable conversation for the most part. This guy's a bit condescending because, as you can see here, I don't even see any gray in your hair.
I don't even see any gray. Like, that makes a goddamn difference. I think I see some gray. What does it even mean? Levers of power. What are you, like, ad hominem attacks? Okay. Keep going.
And then here, software engineers are having an identity crisis. It's hilarious. Like this comment is trying to indicate that because I'm not old, I don't have enough experience.
What the hell does that even mean? That's ridiculous. Man, when I was a kid, they did that kind of shit. When I was like getting into software development, they were like, "Oh yeah, you don't know anything, you whippersnapper." It's like I've been in software. By the time I was professionally like working at a company, I'd been doing software development for like 10 years before that. As a kid, totally untrained or partially trained or very like I'm not well trained because it was hard to figure all this stuff out. But they were like, "Oh, you don't know anything." It's like, dude, I was running circles around those bastards. But that's just how it is. Ageism. So there's ad hominem attack levers of power. Ad hominem. That's ridiculous. You lose. You lose the debate.
Opinion on AI and software engineering. And if you don't see that through this comment, I don't know what to tell you. It's pretty obvious. And maybe me saying that is a little pretentious, but I'll take it. But what I said, and again, in the video and also again in the comment, is you are not who I'm addressing. I'm addressing the juniors, specifically in those less knowledgeable than them. You using it, given you know how to code and understand what it's doing, is how it should be used. But imagine having absolutely no idea how coding works, or at most very little, but with hopes to become a software engineer one day. You would never learn if you're...
Right, if you shouldn't go in and you listen to these damn companies saying, "Oh, I can just vibe my way through using AI tools to do coding." No, you're gonna get stuck. It's gonna be frustrating. Yes, you may get some initial stuff. It'll spit out some stuff you don't understand. And then you'd be like, "Okay, cool, I got down there." But then you're going to be like, it's good. You're going to have to go through the process. There's no way around it. Everyone has to go through it at some point. One way, if you want to do software development, making these machines or robots or anything with software, you're going to have to go through the same thing. There's no way around it. And these companies are like, because people are so unwilling to put up with the lack of dopamine and the painfulness of realizing your own limitations, that you don't understand something until you do. And it's like, oh gosh, that was just that. Usually it's like, you're like struggle. And then it was like, oh, it was just that. It's like that whole way up thing. And if you're not like okay with that and like want to create stuff for other people, because eventually like you're making stuff on your own, you're not going to sustain it. But like doing it for other people and for other people in mind, not necessarily like even commercial in the beginning, but with that in mind, you're creating these tools for other people. You're using your skill set to do fix solutions for someone else. I know it's like, I don't want to do it just for me. It's like, no, think about other people solving their problems with a tool set and like having to learn that for them because they're not going to. And that's the value add. You're going to go through this process of learning and understanding how these stuff is put together. And it's painful. It fucking sucks. But everyone has to do it that wants to get there. There's no way around it. And these AI companies are like, no, you can shortcut that. And it's like, no, you really can't.
Relying on AI the way many folks are. That's what I said. And I don't think this was the best rebuttal. I think a better rebuttal would be more like, okay, why would you want to be a software engineer where in 10 years, software engineers aren't even going to exist? See, my dog is upset that software engineering is not going to exist in 10 years. Anyway, but that's the rebuttal. What's the point of understanding how code works when like AI is going to get so good that you don't really need to understand the code at all? Because
no, you're going to have to understand it. If we're going to be building stuff on this type of hardware, you're definitely going to have to understand. Now, even when we have a different kind of hardware, we're going to have stuff to understand the stuff at the bottom, how it's made, what's going on, how it works. Come on now. It's like I'm gonna be a mechanic and I'm gonna work at the race car. I'm gonna do race cars, but I don't have any idea how to turn a wrench or what a fluid is or what coolant is. All I know is I got the gas pedal and I'm an auto mechanic and I can prompt my way to fixing a car. It's like, dude, you might have the prompter give you suggestions of what may be going wrong, but until you get in there and start turning wrenches and cranking on things and getting your knuckles busted, my knuckle got busted. Man, I had to learn something new. It was hard. Yeah, welcome to the club, man. You're never going to be a really good mechanic until you start cranking wrenches. Sorry.
AI will be able to iterate through it and fix all the bugs and do all of this, which is the most optimistic outlook on AI, which, okay, fair enough. I mean, what did I just say? Companies are pouring billions of dollars in this every single year. So if that's the case, if that's the outlook that people have, then why are you building things to begin with? Why are you building whatever SaaS you're building or whatever software you're building or app you're building? Why are you doing that in the first place if anybody will be able to
for money
just do a simple prompt and it whips up an entire application that they can use themselves and don't have to pay you? If it's that easy, if it's going to be that easy,
right?
Why are you doing software at all? See,
right? It's not going to be that easy. It's never is going to be. Look, man. I talked to one of my friends about this. He's been in development for a long time. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to prompt my way, and we're going to just prompt our things, all the prompting. I'm like, dude, defining what the problem is clear enough and accurate enough to meet the needs of, first of all, interfacing with these existing systems and your customer, get them in the space where you're giving them what they want enough for them to pay for it. That's all human, man. That's all human stuff. We can be assisted by these tools, but figuring out what people want and providing them in the way they want it, That's all human shit. Sorry, you can't get away from it.
I don't think that's a good argument that I made myself. I understand that, but people are saying, that's kind of what people are expecting. If you're not,
and you gotta have technical skill to provide that. That's the other thing that I want to say is like it's human, and you have to have technical skill to define it in which is textual. I'm sorry, there's like no other way to get smaller, simpler without going too low. You have this text interface. People try to do the images and boxes and lines, but it gets too crazy to look at. So yeah, it's better if it's textual for the commands and do this, that, but decision matrix and all that stuff for whatever you're working on, whatever thing you're providing value for your customer. You're gonna have to do it in code. Kotlin and KMP is a nice trade-off. I think it's like a nice blend between the two. It's like right in the middle. It's defined enough to meet all your needs, and still kind of high level enough so it's not too distracting and syntactically messy. I think they did a really good job. Let's keep going.
Not expecting that. If you're not thinking that software engineering itself won't exist at all, like this is the insinuation made by a lot of these comments and viewpoints, whether or not they realize it. Because a lot of people they're half-baked ideas, and you can tell a lot of people haven't really thought of AI and how it actually fits into the workflow in the workplace. It upsets me
because of the sales hype.
People who have such strong opinions oftentimes don't have the knowledge to back it up. And I remember saying,
welcome to the internet, buddy. Come on, this is normal. This is normal. Don't be shocked at that. Let's keep going.
One time I actually really liked what I said. What did I say? I hate when ignorance parades as intelligence.
That's how it always does. Dunning-Kruger. We live in a Dunning-Kruger society, a Dunning-Kruger world, where most people are walking around half-baked because it's got sales slogans in their heads because they're being promoted to actually go look into this stuff and dig into it and get proficient and nuance with it. Takes time. Oof. People don't have a lot of time. Takes a little bit of money. Oof. Takes effort. Oh, effort. And discomfort of not understanding, having the sales message being like, you lied to me. It's definitely not as easy as you said. Who wants to hear that? They want to go with the Burger King Whopper. The Whopper, big deal. They want to go in and get the number one and walk out, eat the burger. And then they don't think about it. They want to go through all this learning and exploring and being confused and listening to multiple people's takes on stuff and having to understand it and then contextualize it for your personal use case for how you feel about it. I haven't got time for that.
And that's what a lot of what is happening here. Oh, this is a good comment right here. How will you qualify who is better? Hold on. How will you qualify who is a better vibe coder for the job you're hiring? Are you saying companies that are not going to see and hire programmers as juniors and seniors you're taking is not good? This is very similar to what I said somewhere. Yes, I said this. Out of context, you can see the full comment right here for full context. But I said if or when software engineering job availability dwindles, who's going to get the remaining jobs? So just the simple prompters, if you will. Again, whoever is going to be between the client and the software, because there is going to be somebody between there. Who would you rather want there? Those that understand the AI and the code base deeply, or those who only understand the AI? I'm gonna have to say the former, and that's the point. And this person said I don't have to worry about either because I'm not skilled enough anyway. But here's the thing: is that a lot of these people are arguing.
I don't have to worry about either because I'm not skilled enough anyway, nor do what I want to be. All that responsibility. Exactly. And that's why the people who will have the skill around to develop, to provide solutions to customers that take on the responsibility of learning all this bullshit. You have to learn these machines, all these crazy languages and architectures and all the bullshit, which is why I say KMP. Just if you do that one first, you're going to be, for lots of reasons, which I go into in other videos. But yes, taking responsibility, it's scary, it's hard, it's difficult. Yes, that's why people pay you. Oh my God, that's going to be the value.
You don't have to be skilled because in 10 years, all you're going to have to do is prompt. I don't think it'll be that easy. You see a lot of one-shotting things today, but it's not one-shotting insane code, like little physics things. It is doing some UI stuff.
It's toys.
Used it.
It's examples. They'll never get. But the thing is, again, that's the human thing. It's like, is this fit for purpose for your users, for the people you're trying to build this thing for? That's going to be the ongoing thing, and they're never going to get rid of engineers for that particular reason.
In some sort of like enterprise software or any app that's larger than what took somebody a day or two or even a week to whip up, you see the current limits. And I don't want to talk about the current limits as if these are going to be the limits 10 years from now, because I hate when people do that. Those were most of the comments on that video a few years ago. This one right here, coding won't exist in 5 years, you might be right, which I keep addressing because I got a lot of backlash about that.
I mean, coding like it exists. Oh, it doesn't. So the coding that we were doing in 2019, 2018, that no longer exists. Now it's blended in with this AI thing, and it's going to continue on with that kind of stuff. What I'm hoping to see at some point is a new operating system based on what Alan Kay was talking about. Instead of this crufty, goofy-ass Unix-based crap, I want to see some like the thing that the Alan Kay was talking about, that he tried to make the hardware for back in the 70s that now we can make the hardware for. It'd be awesome to be able to like go deep, you make the whole operating system from the bottom is all modifiable and openable, and then with AI, applying AI to help code the systems up, that would be awesome. But that's still in the future.
But yet now so many people are parroting.
That would be a real computer revolution. I haven't seen it yet.
The same exact thing that I said there now 2 years later, because it's a little bit more obvious to see. But I don't see any of them coming back and apologizing for crapping on me during that video, even though they're saying the same thing that I said 2 years ago. Anyway, this is just me saying I told you so about some of these things.
Good. You should say I told you so. We should say I told you so often, because like people are being hurt, they're being delayed, they're being lied to, they're being told that they're the profession of creating requirements tight enough to meet customer demands is still as good as a human. It's a human thing. It's a human skill. It will never be taken by these big companies. Won't say that. They can't say it because they want to sell. They got a stock to pump. Come on.
I don't even know what I was talking about. Just how like in 10 years from now they think it's just going to be like a little simple prompt that creates a giant application, and no. I don't think that's the case. And if it is, then like I just said before, why are you in the industry at all? But when you like really start to dive into that rabbit hole of like of all of that, it kind of falls apart. Like what are the frameworks and languages and things that you're using? Are all of those being maintained and grown by AI as well? It's just an infinite AI loop. If that's the case, then where's the value in it? Or are you saying that there's not going to be any value in it? See, there's a lot of whole.
The value comes from engineering a solution that you can sell to a customer that you've identified that you want to help.
In a lot of these arguments.
That's the value. Always the value. That's always the value of these things. There's nothing else. We don't give a shit if it's on the computer. If we could use little rubber bands and mice running on treadmills to provide the value that the customers want to do, we're gonna do it. we're gonna have hamsters spinning on wheels. We're gonna feed them real good, nice peanuts, and we're gonna run that thing. We'll all be hamster engineers.
Again, software engineers are having an identity crisis. It's hilarious. This sounds like network engineers before it dawned on them cloud was coming for their job.
No, levers of power. I thought we were gonna vibe our way through it. Why are you worried? Why are you worried, levers of power? We're just gonna vibe our way through it, so why do you care?
Network technician, senior network engineer, senior network.
Yes, the network engineers haven't gone away, but you have to be highly skilled, so it's basically seniors only, and so there's no junior mid-level. I mean, it's very rare. And if it happens, it's someone at a senior level picking somebody they want to bring in, because yes, the need for on-prem network systems cabled all together is much lower because we have software that wires it up in the cloud for us. So knowing how that shit works, yes, but man, I just think there's more opportunity with these lower niches by using these AI tools to build applications for new customers, niche down customers, and take business away from existing companies. I think there's more opportunity there than this network stuff.
Engineer. The cloud's been around for how long? The term cloud was widely used in 2006 when Amazon launched AWS with EC2. That is 19 years ago. And that's just when the term was coined. And then also, guess what? Cloud engineer job.
It's been around forever.
Senior cloud engineer, bioinformatics.
It's just somebody else's computer over a network. Let's not get it twisted.
Engineer, DevOps, principal engineer, enterprise cloud, and special projects. Why is this an argument when network engineers and now cloud engineers are still around? That doesn't make any sense. But this is a beautiful comment as to a lot of people's misunderstanding of.
But what AI did you use to script for this video, K-Dog? I get you. Dude, you gotta leave an emoji, K-Dog. You gotta let us know. Are you serious? Are you being cheeky? He's not scripting this.
Something and thinking that AI can do that something. And that is, okay, but what AI did you use for your script for this video? Remember, this is the Vibe Coder Spider-Man video. Obviously, I didn't. And it's very obvious to somebody who's made videos I've made it for 9 years, but even somebody who has 1 to 2 years of experience making videos every single day, from idea to script to recording to editing to all of that, it's easy to tell if a script was done by AI or if it was not.
Super easy.
I've made videos.
But for the non-nuanced crowd, they don't know. So YouTube's like, 3 billion people on the damn platform? We're going to get a bunch of dummies that don't know nothing. And we just have to accept it. Like, I wish there was an IQ level here. The closest we can get to knowing if people are real or just being bullshit or whatever is you go click on their logo and you see if they have any videos of what they're posting videos about. Whether they talk bullshit or they should be paid attention to. Other than that, you can just assume they're dumbasses. Even if they say something right, just assume they're ding-dongs.
Pretty dang easy to tell. Like this video right here.
So that's why I did a cable access show in Austin, Texas for a few years, and I did live call-in and got the full front direct abuse from the public. And through that process, I mean, I was already pretty thick-skinned, but after that, I was just like, whatever, man. people say all kinds of crazy shit. They're anonymous. Nobody knows who they are. They don't get penalized for it. There's no social shaming for it. It's kind of a sport. They get frustrated. They get mad. And it's human. And I allow it. And I think it's okay. Just don't take it seriously. Forrest, come on.
Do you expect, or is there any part of you that thinks that this video was made by AI? Or not
even some people do.
It was made by AI. Probably not. If you do, let me know what AI you're using. But it is painfully obvious in many instances when an AI has been used to write the script. In other times, you can easily tell that there was no AI involvement at all in the script. It's just
you're getting wound up in the comment. I'm gonna cut it there. 44 minutes, pretty good. All right. Let me keep ranting. Give me a like and subscribe, and go give Forrest a like and subscribe, and tell them to not take the comments so seriously. They're just a bunch of jokers anyway. All right, I'll talk to you later.